Welcome back. President Trump slamming Democrats this morning for opposing his new immigration plan. The proposal provides a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, but Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is already rejecting it. President Trump tweeted out this: Democrats do not want to solve DACA, only use it. Democrats are not interested in border safety and security or in the funding and rebuilding of our military. They are only interested in obstruction. Spring and Fox News contributor, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor, always a pleasure. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, Maria.
Well,
great to be here. I'll try not to obstruct the discussion today. So here we go.
You would think that once the president gave a bit of an olive branch saying, look, let's get together on DACA, here's one proposal, you would think that that would have sort of sparked new conversations and a new ability to actually see something getting done. But Chuck Schumer is saying, no way.
The president didn't just give an olive branch, he gave a grove of olive trees. This was way more than I think anyone expected that he would first lay on the table. More than double the number of DACA recipients. If this were about DACA, Chuck Schumer would have cried, but he would have cried tears of delight, and he would have gone and hugged Donald Trump around the legs and said, thank you so much. This is amazing. Let's work together. Let's get this done. But instead, he throws out the same old stuff. And this time, it's so irrational that it becomes laughable. When he says things, as does Pelosi, that this is racist, that it's to make America white again, when over 95% of the people who would be affected are non-white, it just shows that this is an irrational, illogical, and insane reaction to what the president is trying to do to move America forward.
I mean, I guess at some point the American people are going to want answers. Number one, why did the Democrats vote against the tax plan? Now that we see the early impact, and it's pretty good, with companies giving out $1,000 bonus checks across the board, more than 200 companies saying we're going to do something for employees and customers as a result of the tax savings. So they're going to want answers in terms of why the Democrats voted against the tax plan. And number two, why they shut the government down. Is this actually going to come up and bite them come 2018, or do you still feel there's a feeling out there that the Republicans lose the majority?
I think the Democrats are going to take away what should be an advantage in a midterm, and they're going to hand it back to the Republicans. I mean, the Democrats' theme for this year's election is going to be, who are you going to believe? Democrats or your lying eyes? Because the fact is, when they get better paychecks, they see that the president has put more on the table than they ever thought, that he's actually trying to end this. But he wants to do it with the caveat of protecting the American people with border security, ending this whole ridiculous visa lottery, which amounts to Willy Wonka's golden ticket, and to have some end to the unlimited amount of chain migration. Those are things that over 80% of the American people say, gee, that's reasonable. We support that. Right. I don't know what they're having a problem with.
Yeah, visa lottery is just incredible. Let me ask you about the State of the Union, because this is obviously going to be one of the key topics, immigration. The president's going to try to sell this immigration plan in the State of the Union, we are told. But, Governor, the cost is really being debated pretty fiercely. First, we thought it was $1 trillion. Now we're hearing $1.7 trillion. Are we getting a little over the top in terms of the numbers being discussed here? Do you think that the president could actually push that kind of a deal forward, $1.7 trillion?
Well, I think he could. We're seeing an unprecedented growth in the economy over the past 30, 40 years. We haven't had this kind of GDP growth. You're seeing companies make huge investments, and that's in advance of the tax bill going into effect. Imagine what happens this week when you see major tech companies like Apple start pouring billions and billions of dollars of their capital back into the U.S. economy that has not been in our economy. Maria, I think there's real reason for most Americans, and except the most just belligerent, to truly feel a sense of optimism about their own personal future. And I know that the $1,000 or $2,500 bonuses to employees, may seem like crumbs to Nancy Pelosi and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. But if you're making $50,000 a year, $1,000 is not a crumb. And if it is, bring some more crumbs. We'll take the crumbs. We're happy to have them. I mean, it's absurd.
I mean, they're going to have to answer for some of these statements, which are ridiculous. Crumbs, Armageddon, you know, with the tax plan. Nancy Pelosi said it was Armageddon. And yet we're seeing expectations now for 4% economic growth for 2018. The president's message in terms of economics is a positive one. I assume that's going to be one of the lead headlines out of the State of the Union on Tuesday.
I think it will be. He's got a great record to point to. One of the most important reasons the economy is doing better and manufacturing is coming back, it's not just the taxes, it's the regulatory environment. This is a president who has cut 22 regulations for every new one that's come in. I cannot begin to tell you how huge that is, and I hear it from people in business every single day, particularly in the manufacturing world and in the energy sector, because this means that they're actually able to do their business and to carry out their products and services without essentially being full-time slaves of government bureaucracies and bureaucrats.
Right.
This is big. That's why I think the president has a great message.
And I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing this growth. Apparently, it took 13 years to build a bridge in Bayonne, New Jersey, Jamie Dimon told me. And then I spoke with Elaine Chao, and she said it was taking 25 years to get something done for one piece of infrastructure in Alaska. That red tape rollback was huge, and I know that's very important. So we'll watch for more developments there. Governor, it's always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. Have a great Sunday.
And to you, Governor Huckabee.